welcome to The Run-In. We are back. I'm delighted to say I'm joined as ever by my best mate, the ambassador Marcus Gale. How are you, mate?
I'm all good. You're in my top 5 for sure.
Top 5? You number
top
1.
five.
Michael Thomas. Keeps mentioning about Michael Thomas, his mate with the Premier League winner. All right, mate. Anyway, we're going to be getting you as close to the action as we physically can and have a little bit of fun along the way. First things first, bit of admin. We're obviously in a new home at the new home. I'm not sure I'm having it yet. I'm not sure I'm having it. It needs to be a bit more us. Do you know what I mean? There's no personality to it yet.
We will get there in no time at all. I'm very sure about it.
We will be. We're getting to a little table. We need some bits and bobs anyway. Also, another thing you're going to say next is the run-in. It isn't the run-in. So we want your suggestions for a name. Tweet us, any kind of social media interaction, but my favourite is always direct messaging this man. Tell him what you want it to be. If we use your suggestion, we will send you a replica shirt of your choice, the home or the away. And I know what you're going to say next is, how can you be dishing out prizes already when you haven't sent us ours from last year? I apologise for that, hold my hands up, not good enough. I can promise you that we've got all your names and we will be getting onto this. I've spoken to Bob at the training ground and me and him are going to be picking out some prizes and sending them out to you very soon. Admin out the way, should we get on to the football?
That's what we're here for, aren't we?
Well, first of all, obviously the B team had their cup final on Monday night, taking Hendon to extra time. The boys were unlucky, losing by a penalty kick, and obviously we've seen afterwards one of the lads has tested positive for COVID-19, so they're all isolating. Hope you boys are all good, and fingers crossed soon you'll be back doing your thing. The first team, 2 games, Marcus, Birmingham and Southampton. Should we have a little look?
Let's have a look.
Right, let's start chronologically and get the bad stuff out the way. Birmingham, what did you make of the game, mate?
Tricky start, tough away fixture. A good lineup to start with until obviously the injury of Matthias in the midfield early on, about 6 minutes in. But you know, coming into the game, we're looking strong. We've got a good lineup. Birmingham are always going to be tricky customers, especially the first day of the season. But I thought we gave a good account of ourselves, created a few good chances that we should be looking to take, and we don't want that sort of habit to kind of carry on throughout the season. We want to get off to a really good start this year.
We mentioned that us on the first day of the season doesn't go well. It was a typical Karanka performance, I thought, personally. 1-0, classic, he's learnt from Jose. And hey, that's not me slagging that because it's football. It's a great way of setting up. It works. It's always tough when sides go behind to teams like that. Do we have to kind of expect that teams are going to maybe sit in a little bit more against us now and kind of expect to play sides like this? And if they do, how do we play against that?
I think Thomas Frank's message has always been patience. Just keep trusting the system, trusting the process, have patience with it. Our quality and high skill will come through in the end, and we've got the players to do that. So it's just trying to get the season up and running now after that sort of shortish break of 6 weeks or so. But yeah, there's positives out there, but a few things to kind of like we have to work on as well.
You said that, look, patience, and we have got the players that can unlock. We had a lot of the ball. One man in particular had a lot of the ball, Josh Da Silva. Some very, very impressive passing stats here. 95% pass completion for Josh. I'm not going to do a Gabby Agbonlahor here and compare him to Iniesta like he did with Grealish, but that's pretty remarkable, isn't it?
That's a very good start for him. You know, it shows that he's matured, he's developed over the last, 16 months or so. Great season last year, 10 goals from midfield, and he's adding that quality to his game now. He's being more sort of reliable on the ball, not giving the ball away as much as he was. But he's got that accuracy now, which is important for him to carry on with his development.
Under 21 international, though, is just, for me, I think he's just on this upward trajectory. He's unbelievable. Look, he created a great chance for Bryan Mbeumo in the second half. Let's have a little look at the chances in general, because it's fair to say we had a few. I mean, this is, we say a chance there. Josh has made that chance for himself. This one, Emile only had to go first time, really?
Yeah, it's difficult. The ball's at a funny height. Does he go for a volley? Does he go with his head? He's gone with his head. But this pass has got to be the pass of the game.
That could be pass of the season already, if that goes in. It's unreal.
If that was in the Premier League now, the people will be raving over that type of pass.
On another day, does one of these drop in?
You're hoping one can just drop in. You just want to break that sort of cycle of hitting the woodwork all the time and having near misses. You just want something to go in. I know it's the first game, but we want to start this season off well. We finished strong last year. It's time to carry on with that sort of form and bring it into this new one with obviously new signings in there to accommodate. But yeah, we've got good signs there. And
when you're playing, obviously, and you see yourselves, you hit the woodwork twice, are you thinking, this ain't going to be our day, or are you thinking it's coming here, it's coming?
Well, you just got to keep plugging away. What you can't do is like just cry about it and moan that the chances ain't going in, it's not our day or whatever. You just got to keep doing the right things, be consistent in the right habits, and the ball will end up in the back of the net.
And look, I want to talk about this. Their goal, the marking, what's happened here? Because shortest fella on the pitch, isn't he? Well, one of.
It seems to be a lack of communication and sort of job completion. We've got Tony in that near post zone area. Someone of his stature should be sort of dominating that. And as you said, it's one of the smallest men on the pitch that's gone in there with his head. He's probably a bit surprised he's got a free header on it.
But sometimes does that mean they go undetected because they are smaller? So
yeah, you feel because of their stature, they're not really going to win that ball if everyone's committed into defending that ball at the near post. So if he was someone of 6 foot, he's quite obvious walking into that area. You have to handcuff him into that position and try and clear the ball. But he snuck in there and he snuck the ball in.
Well, look, I'm not one to cane refs. I think they do the job they've got to do. But penalty shouts. Talk to me. What's going on here? First one, Harley Dean on Christian Norgard.
It's a brutal challenge. It's full-blooded by Harley Dean, as we know. And,
people saying anywhere else on the pitch this is a penalty, but I don't know. I think that would be harsh if it was given.
It is a bit harsh if it is given. This one here with Pontus, yes, he's got a grab of him. There's a shout for handball as well, but
he stopped Pontus from jumping there, surely.
Yeah, he's affected him, and the thing is, the referee's got a great position. There's no one obstructing his view. He's seen what he's seen, and he's given what he's given. For me, I think he should have given a penalty.
So first one, not so. Second one,
correct.
Yeah. And look, it didn't happen for us that night, but Wednesday was a different story. Again, many of us probably didn't hold much hope because Southampton, brilliant side. People like Danny Ings in the side, and they only made one change from their team on the opening day of the Premier League. But we showed both sides of our game here, didn't we?
Yeah, we showed a different strategy with the way we defended. It was very compact from back to the front line. There's probably only about a 25, 30-yard gap between back and front, which made it very difficult for Southampton to get any sort of momentum in there and any sort of creativity. And I think that worked well. Southampton, on the other hand, they kept a very high line, and we was playing quite a few balls that were going in behind that back line and drawing the keeper out, as we saw on many occasions. And all it needed was the right ball attached to the right run and the right execution on the end of it, which nearly happened with Bryan Mbeumo.
Well, that's it. McCarthy seemed like thought he was playing in the back line. It's like he was so far off his line every 2 minutes, like coming out for everything, but he wasn't making the cleanest connections with the ball.
He wasn't, and I felt that there was going to be a chance off of him, because depending on the type of ball that was coming towards him, does he have time to take a touch and clear it, or does he have to do it first time? And I would have liked him to have more opportunities to try and deal with it first time, which would lead to a mistake.
Yeah, well, look, Christian, our fave, grabs the goal for 1-0, another set play. I mean, so he scored a similar goal to this in pre-season, a great header against Derby. Also, we're going to see here the celebration, but he's similar to the Birmingham one, free header.
Yeah, and he's someone with a good stature.
Here it is, there it is, the celeb.
All the defenders just kept their eye on the ball. They didn't keep an eye on the runners that were coming in, their zone marking, but I think there was no sort of contact to impede his run into the box. He just ghosted in there. Great ball in, great header, put us 1-0 up.
And how big a plus is it? Because it reminded me of a goal last year against Wigan where he kind of went in undetected again, and Brian finished it after a good save from the keeper. It's good. It's a big thing having someone like him who is so good at heading in our midfield, because on set plays a lot of time, we kind of touch on it, the focus is on the centre halves normally, or maybe the striker. So having someone like him who can just ghost in must be a real boost for us. Yeah,
I think obviously with the game midweek, the centre backs were the obvious targets to keep an eye on. They was very effective last night. Mads with his long throw, and Charlie Good was getting in there to attract all the defenders. And by doing that, they've left Norgard unmarked. Free run, great header in the box, and that's what you would like as well from our midfield. If the deepest line midfielder can grab 4 or 5 goals like that every year, then you'd be well happy with him. So yeah, I was very pleased that he got his goal.
And it was something that he'd obviously mentioned a few times. It was great to see him get on the score sheet. Both teams did have their chances, it's fair to say. They had a few, good save from Luke, but it was a deserved lead at that stage, wasn't it?
I think it was end-to-end, and anyone could have scored, but when you look on the stats, we had more shots from outside the box, inside the box. We outnumbered them in all those departments, so it shouldn't have been a surprise that we did score.
Yeah.
And even if it was 2 goals we scored, we definitely deserved it, and maybe a couple more as well. But there's full credit to the side that went out there and implemented what the head coach wanted.
Well, you said it there, closing stages of the half, obviously, we doubled our lead. Cliche is that it's the perfect time to score before half-time. What impact did it have?
Had a positive impact in our dressing room, for sure. To come in 2-0 against a Premier League side, that's a great result to come in. Can you maintain it? Can you keep the discipline and the shape, but also still have that threat on the break, which I felt we always had. We had good pace up front, good movement, good opportunities to counter-attack them.
Yeah, and look, second half, as expected, they did come at us. It was almost roles reversed from Saturday. And look, I don't like to single people out, although I just said our fave, Christian Norgard. But Mads Bech-Sørensen and Charlie Good at the heart of the defence, you kind of almost alluded to it earlier. They were up against one of the most dangerous strikers in the Premier League last season. For a pair that maybe haven't played too much with each other, probably haven't played at all really, how well did those two do?
It was a very good surprise that combination worked. It was probably no-nonsense defending when you think of their backgrounds of last season, League One. So that, to me, last night was a little bit of a reminder of the level they've played at in their last season, and it worked to good effect. There was no messing about on the ball. If they had to clear the lines, they just cleared it. And I think it just gradually broke the spirit of Danny Ings up front, because he couldn't get a free run at them, couldn't pick the ball up deep and try and cause any problems, because the distances were so narrow, especially with Norgard in the middle, just protecting them. There was hardly any space, and that combination worked well. They put their head through everything. They used the ball wisely at times as well.
I mean, look, that loan spell for Mads, I know it was only a brief one at Wimbledon. It looks like he's done in the world of good. I mean, we should just send everyone to Wimbledon, to be honest, because they come back unbelievable. Can't wait to see Jaco come back next season. But that's what these games are about, aren't they? Kind of, if you are rotating, it's the players taking that opportunity. I mean, we saw people like Baptiste and Thompson and Fosu all had unbelievable games. It's given Thomas a little bit of a headache, hasn't it, for Saturday?
Yeah, I think it's a good headache. That's the headache you want. And I think the players are feeling, you know what, I want to be in that starting lineup. I need to perform in these sort of games. Doesn't matter about the opposition, it's Premier League opposition. If I can perform against them, surely I can do this against Championship opposition, because the quality isn't supposed to be as high as what we just played in. But I think the manager's going to have a few ideas, or different ideas now, of who could be in that starting 11 now. And
look, massive shout out Luke Daniels, because he's had to be patient. What a start to the season he's had.
Yeah, and you need your goalkeeper on form. He's very loyal and committed individual. He's got a fight on his hands as well, but you know what? At the moment, he's the #1. He's got the shirt on his back, and hopefully he tries to keep that shirt, because it's not a position that is just given to you. I think you earn that right as well, and I'm pleased with the start. He's a good human being from what I hear about him. And those are the sort of people that you want around the club.
Well, that's it. I've only been to the training ground a few times, but Luke's one that's just brilliant. He's got a lot about him. He's got a lot of banter, and he seems great around the group. So I'm really happy that he's getting this opportunity, and he's really taking it. And look, Thomas has got some big decisions to make the selection. And one man who's back fully fit is Sergi Canos. He made his first start in the league in over 11 months against Birmingham after that knee injury against Forest. We documented his road to recovery, and this is released on our social channels today. If you've missed it, check it out. And here's a little teaser.
Without them saying it, I knew it. That's the hard bit, because I don't feel it's as important as it is. When I did it, yeah, I heard a little bit of sound, but then after, when I stood up and I was walking, I was running, and it wasn't painful. But when I tried to change direction, it was really bad, yeah. But I knew something wrong, like there was something wrong. But I tried to play because the team needed it. Like I always give my 100%. And yesterday when they told me, it was a shock, and I was really disappointed. Yeah, talking with Rico, talking with a lot of friends that did it back in Spain, and a lot of friends that did it here in England, and they have come back and they are playing so good now. Yeah, that gives me so much motivation.
I've spoken to you before about these kind of long-term injuries. You did your ACL at the end of your career, didn't you?
Yeah, right at the end. Well, 1 year before the end. It was pretty, not traumatic, but it came at the right time for me. At least I've had my career, and it came then, instead of at the start, and you've got to go through all of that trauma, the mental side of it as well. Not to say I didn't go through all of that myself, but yeah, it was a 3-month period where my knee was emptied, and I was able to recover and get back playing within that 3-month period.
What do you mean it was emptied?
So there was no ACL. I took it all out, and also the cartilage. So that enabled me to recover and get back within 3 months and try and play. I was probably not as anxious as my teammates at the time about it. I just wanted to get moving and playing and training and stuff, where my teammates at the time, they was probably a bit more nervous about coming into contact with me in case they re-injured it. But that's a hurdle that, you know, everybody has to come across and overcome.
And you kind of said it there. So when you're coming back from an injury like that, is there like landmarks that you're going, right, the first time I get out on the training pitch, and then the first time I get to kick a ball, and then the first time I get into contact? So for Sergi, will he be looking to tick off all these things now? And he's pretty much done them all now.
Yeah, he's ticked all the boxes, but the mental side of it is that you want to just go past each stage gradually. I knew physically the knee was in good shape. It was strong enough. I've done all the muscular tests around it, built up those areas well, but it's the psychological part. Can you withstand someone going shoulder to shoulder with you? Can you withstand a tackle? And those are the little boxes that you tick. And once you tick those, your confidence grows, and it gives your teammates something to feel proud about as well, is that you've gone through these stages, you're reliable now, and they want you back out there.
Yeah, look, I'm sure he'll be looking to build on that with a lot of games coming up, obviously, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, because of the Cup now. People say that's a lot of games, but as players, surely you'd be rather play than train, especially this time of the year.
Yeah, you want to play games. I think it's great that we've got a good collection of games at the very start of the season. I think you want to get your fitness up. You can only really get it to its maximum by playing games because of the intensity of it. Yes, training is vital as well, but you can't replicate what goes on in matches. You can't control the opposition for one, how they challenge you, but you can in training. So you really want to play games as much as possible. And
I guess because we've not really had a proper pre-season, they're almost like, I don't want to say free hits, but they're low pressure cup games now, because there's no pressure to go really far in it, so you can almost use them as extra little pre-season games to get that match sharpness, can't we?
Yeah, there's probably a different in terms of game management with the head coach and the group of players now, is that, as you said, we've got to kind of use them as indicators because of the lack of pre-season matches and time. But so far, so good. We're bedding in the players. We've seen a lot of changes so far. 6 changes the other night, which is a lot. But we came out triumphant, which is good. And we've seen players step up and take an opportunity.
And because of that win on Wednesday, how different is the mentality going into Huddersfield now?
There should be more confidence. We've got that win. But above all, we've got a clean sheet as well. So the defenders that were out there, they know how to hold on to that clean sheet in a comfortable fashion as well. It wasn't like we were just clinging on. We played with such great confidence. We didn't seem to be in danger against a top flight side. So we should be going into the weekend's match in good form. And
they've got a new manager. Is that a good time to play them then, when they've just had a new gaffer come in? They started with 2 defeats, both 1-0 defeats against Norwich and Rochdale.
Look, it's 50-50. In some ways it can spur the new team on, but I think for us we just got to keep focusing on what we're doing. Our objectives of the game is to do what? To win the match, try not to concede goals, but try and score some goals. So if we got that in mind, nothing should really falter us at home.
And he's come from working alongside Bielsa. There's probably not many better that you can learn from. They've brought him in clearly to kind of be a bit more of an attacking outfit. Could that be risky? Because they were pretty tough to break down and beat last year. Well, we found it so, especially at home last year.
I just feel it will open the game up. Right. A lot of teams can come and sit and just 2 banks of 4, make it very difficult. But if a team's got ambition, it makes for a better game. It can be end to end, and if it is like that, I favour us to win the match.
So do you think they will be a bit more expansive this time around this year?
I'm hoping they do. I think you can't just sit back in football and win matches no more.
It's an interesting one as well on the Bielsa connection with their gaffer, because I was chatting about this in the week. Is it hard sometimes to replicate a style like Bielsa's if you're not Bielsa? Because it's the whole package with him, I feel. So are you just almost doing an imitation of someone that, if you haven't got the personality that he's got and the conviction that he's got and the maybe at times brutalness around it, is it diluting the end product?
I think so. I think you can't just replicate someone 100% because you're doing it. It has your personality as well. I think you can have the foundations of the work and imitate that, but your personality and character has to be the stamp on the team play. We've seen that here with Thomas over the last 2 years. We've had the blueprint, but Thomas has just added his own flavour of personality into it, and we've seen how well the team still performs.
I guess that's where you start seeing these managers who learn from other managers, like Pochettino's gone on record, said he's learned a lot from Bielsa, and that's where you see then they take things from people. And look, I might be wrong, they're playing differently. I've not seen that much of them, to be honest, but I saw a few local journalists did actually say, look, the Norwich game was a much improvement on Rochdale. You know what I'm going to ask you for? I want a prediction for this game.
Prediction. It's always a tough one. Why do I get the tough questions?
Well, it's not for me asking, no one cares what I think.
All right, I'll go 2-0.
Yeah, for 2-0.
Yeah.
I love that, another clean sheet. Look, West Brom midweek, ahead of that big London derby against Millwall the following week. Do you think we'll see a kind of largely similar lineup as we did at Southampton from us?
Yeah, I think the players have deserved another bite of the cherry. I think the performance was very encouraging. Different strategy for me, I saw. It was no nonsense, but we still had that potency to go forward and get those 2 away goals. Obviously, we've got that capability again for next week. But again, it depends on who's available, who's fit, how they train over the next couple of days, recovery. But I would think it's more the same.
I'm not going to ask you for a prediction for that, but I am going to ask you for this. We're going to do our season-long predictions. We've got our running old logo. Carlos here. Pick up yours, mate.
Uh-oh.
So on here, we're going to do, I don't know if you can see this, top scorer, player of the season, and our final position, where we're going to finish. You've got a pen down there as well.
Pen as well.
Don't worry, I've given you a green one.
Look at that.
So what we're going to do is, I'm going to get you to keep hold of this. We'll put it in an envelope. And then on our last show, we're going to reveal who we thought. Obviously, we've got to do this probably after the Player of the Season award's been named. I don't know. I wonder. I reckon we've got probably similar for one of them at least.
Yeah, I think so.
It'd be interesting if anyone else wants to join in with this. You might not. You might want to. And then we can have a little look back at the end of the year. It'd be a little fun thing we could all do together. Let's see what you think. I'm not going to let you see mine, so I'm going to put that down there. But any danger of you hurrying up?
No danger. I finished mine.
I told you about this earlier, so you've had time to think about it.
I am not revealing that.
Well, look, we'll see how we get on at the end of the season. The games are coming thick and fast, and you can get programmed for tomorrow's game from the Curtis Sport website. Charlie Good is in there. Luke Daniels is in there. It's great, fantastic work once again from the award-winning Chris Deacon. We've given season ticket holders and premium seat members an iFollow code to watch the Bees this weekend. If you're not a season ticket holder and would like to watch us against the Terriers, you can buy a £10 match pass and keep up with the action. You can buy that now at brentfordfc.com/iFollow. That's it. Little taster this week. I'll be honest. Didn't like the setup. We could get past that. I like having the sofa. I like a bit more relaxed, a bit more chilled out. Felt a bit formal today. Formal. First show. We'll get there. Look, that was a little taster. Next week in the studio we've got the Brentford women's team's gaffer, Carly Osborne, ahead of that Millwall game, because obviously he did play for both as well. Have a great weekend. Come on the Bees. You Reds!